Edward Hopper's painting Office in a Small City was created in 1953 during a post-war period of economic prosperity in the United States. This era saw significant urbanization and the rise of corporate culture. Hopper, known for his realist style and for capturing the psychological undertones of American life, often portrayed the isolation and alienation within modern urban settings. He was great at capturing the feeling of loneliness, whether alone or with others. So, Office in a Small City reflects Hopper's continued exploration of human solitude and the complexities of mid-century contemporary life. The artist's personal background as an introvert and an observant artist influenced his thematic choices. The 1950s, emphasizing conformity and material success, are important to note when considering Hopper's portrayal of the individual's struggle for identity within a corporate environment.
Hey, just wanted to hop in here real quick to thank today's sponsor, caffeine withdrawals and lots of extra water. Thanks to extra hydration, I've been able to juice up my brain enough to really focus on thinking and writing. And due to the lack of caffeine in my system, I've been really motivated to keep my mind busy and think about anything but coffee. Also, thank you to my first patron, Angel Hernandez. Thanks to my patrons, I'm able to make time to keep this art content going, so a big thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if you'd like to contribute, consider joining my Patreon, linked in the description below. Thank you for your time and engagement. You are very much appreciated. And now, back to the story.
Office in a Small City depicts an empty corner office with a single male figure. The man sits at his desk in front of the window and contemplates. The room is sparsely furnished, emphasizing the starkness of the office setting. Hopper's use of light and shadow create a dramatic contrast, highlighting the figure's solitude and the environment's stillness. I mean, just look at the lack of window glass. Everything is so still, it's like we're looking through a surreal figurine world. Everything looks dead. The color palette is subdued, dominated by grays, blues, and browns, contributing to the painting's quiet sense of introspection. The architectural elements, such as the window and the desk, are rendered with meticulous detail, showcasing Hopper's skill in depicting urban spaces. The composition is structured with strong vertical and horizontal lines, enhancing the sense of containment and isolation. The subject, and in turn the viewer, are very boxed in while experiencing this painting. Hopper's application of paint is smooth and controlled, which is characteristic of his realist style. Yes, it is realism, but Hopper has always had a more illustrative flair to me. What do you think? The play of light filtering through the window suggests a narrative beyond the visual, hinting at the man's internal contemplation. Like there's more beyond than we can see. Notice how the painting shows the office building with a false facade in the bottom right corner. This facade gives the building the appearance of an older styled, more traditional architecture to people seeing it from the street. However, the actual office building architecture is but a bland concrete block, which is a very corporate American thing to do. Subjectively, Office in a Small City evokes a sense of existential loneliness and introspection. The figure's isolation and contemplative gaze invite viewers to empathize with the emotional weight of modern life. We can't tell if the man is sad or just spacing out, with a head as empty as his corner office. Is he content and looking toward the sunny right side of the canvas in hopeful aspiration for the future? The right side of things in the Western world is sometimes associated with positivity and righteousness and progress. We read left to right, so there's that possible symbolism. If he is gazing out with sadness, something about the emptiness of the sky and the walls and everything, it really does highlight the sadness for me when I look at this painting, but it's still ambiguous. He seems to have such a longing, as if he wants to escape his concrete box so badly. That's like me using a photo of a freediver in a beautiful cave as the background of my past work computer because I wished I was diving instead. Maybe he's a voyeur. Much of Edward Hopper's work features some element of voyeurism, typically from the role of the viewer of the artwork. So with Office in a Small City, we're the voyeur gazing at the man who is a voyeur to his neighbors across the street. The windows are blacked out, so we'll never know if simply no one's home or the man just has a better view of the people across the street than we do. The surrounding architecture suggests that the scene occurs in any town in America. It's very generic, just like this man. with no personality of his own. Take a look at his desk. Absolutely nothing points to his personal relationships, personality, or interests. We don't even know what he does for work. It's simply a man in an office. He's as generic as the town he's painted in. The setting and the figure both point toward the mid-century corporate work culture that encouraged conformity, Cold War containment culture, and climbing the corporate ladder. The office is up high, overlooking much of the rest of the town, I think for two reasons. First, it isolates the figure and gives a sense of loneliness and detachment. Second, it symbolizes that the American corporate worker, or the business as a whole, is rising up in material success. Its status is high above everything else. Hopper's purpose in creating Office in a Small City was to explore the psychological complexities of urban life and corporate alienation. The empty office represents the emptiness and isolation in the modern work environment at its time. The solitary figure symbolizes the individual's struggle for his own identity and meaning amidst society's impersonal and regimented structures. Through Office in a Small City, I think Hopper does a great job at communicating post-war America's profound disconnection and just all-around existential angst. The painting serves as a commentary on the challenges of human existence within the constraints of modernity. It seems humans throughout history have constantly tried to force fit themselves into some human-made social structure. Sometimes they fit, sometimes they don't. Oh yeah, kind of like the Grief of the Pasha painting. There's that tendency towards human control. This painting is a powerful meditation on solitude and introspection within the context of urban life. Its enduring impact lies in its ability to evoke empathy and contemplation from the viewer, making us reflect on the universal themes of identity and isolation and the human condition in a rapidly changing world, as was the case in the 1950s. As observers, we're invited to delve into the solitary figure's emotional landscape, which resonates with the quiet struggles of contemporary existence. Office in a Small City is part of the Metropolitan Museum of Art's collection in New York. However, as of May 2024, as I'm filming this, it's not currently on display. But if you have seen it in the past, I'd love to know, what did you think? Please like and subscribe if you've learned anything new or found this interesting. I truly do appreciate it, and it helps me create more exploratory art content for you. And if you're ever curious or want to read more, I do link all of my sources in the description. Thank you, and until next time, I do hope you get to look at some art.